It's 4 o'clock rock, and we thought we'd do some radical mindfulness now. This is Food and Farmers Hawaii, but we're going to do that today. We're going to talk about something else, substitute show. We're going to talk about, TEDx, because we like TEDx. And in fact, for a long time, TEDx had a show, and now they're sort of coming back. On July 9th is a big event. So we have two special guests. One is my co-host. Can I say that?
Absolutely. I love being your co-host.
Ruby T. Menon.
T. Menon?
The T stands for Tuesday.
Ruby Tuesday.
Menon, yeah. Okay. And to her left is Salina Storozuk. Did I get that right?
Storozuk.
Yes.
Close enough.
She's a TED Talk person. She's going to be terrific. And we're going to hear about her talk and sort of get an idea of what life is going to be like on July 9th at the Hawaii Theater.
No, Blaisdell
Convention Center.
Yeah.
I was just testing.
Concert.
Okay.
Okay, so the first thing is, what is going on July 9th, Ruby?
So people don't know, TED is a national event, and every city has its own TEDx event. And so TEDxHonolulu is our TED event that features all the local speakers that we get that share some of their best and brightest ideas. And so this series that we have coming up on July 9th is actually, the theme is going to be on the flow. And
how do you spell that?
Flow is F-L-O-W,
okay.
not F-L-O.
Okay,
And the theme of flow is actually something that probably people can relate to in sports, like being in the zone. So, like when you're in the zone, every time stands still, you're totally in this, flow of yourself and whatever you're involved in doing. And so all of our speakers are addressing that theme through either their own personal experience or through their professional experience in terms of what it is that they do in their professional lives. We have speakers that cover everywhere from architecture to science to art to meditation and yoga. So that's pretty much the event. We also have a lot of interactive activities. So we're going to have a ton of exhibitors that are going to be doing all kinds of games and activities to get people into their own flow. So when people come to the event, they're not only just going to be sitting there passively and listening to speakers, they're actually going to come out and get involved and into these interactive activities. And the biggest thing that we really try to encourage and inspire in these events is social connection. Because you're going to be in, with 200 to 300 people who are like-minded, who love TED videos, who are very inspired by the message. And so you get to meet all of those people and get to do some fun things with them and probably get to know some people that you never would have gotten the chance to meet any other way.
It's always good.
Yeah.
So how do I get in?
Well, you have to buy your ticket. And the way to do that is you go to TEDxHonolulu.org. And once you go inside the site, you'll see a little box that you can click that says Purchase Tickets. And for people who are watching Think Tech Hawaii, you actually get to have your own very own discount code. And you can put in Think Tech Hawaii, and that will give you $15 off the ticket price. You can also go to Hawaii Gallery, and I don't know if you know Miley Meyer, but she's been very generous to help support our event. And so you can go to Namea Gallery and also purchase tickets there at a discount. And if people don't know where that is, Namea Hawaii Gallery is at the Eva end of Ward Warehouse.
Yeah, nice place.
Yeah.
Good art. Well, that's it. That's our show for today. Salina, you.
Yeah, I'm here.
Storozuk.
Yes, Storozuk.
So why are you here?
I don't know. Here, like right now?
Yeah.
To talk to you.
Okay.
Yeah. Ask me a question, any question.
All right. Well, you're going to make a speech. You're going to do a TEDx talk at the TEDx thing on July 9th.
Yes.
So that helps to understand, what the event is about, but also helps us understand what a TEDx person is really. What is a TEDx person really?
I think they're varied. It's anyone. Anyone could be a TEDx speaker. So.
Really? I thought you had to be super articulate and smart.
Not necessarily. I think you could just be unique, and everyone's unique. So
Yeah,
I think everyone
okay,
could
go with
qualify. So it's you have to have an idea worth sharing. I think is like Ruby said, the kind of overall
Don't we
mission.
all have that?
We do. That's the
And I
thing.
hope we do,
so
yeah.
So
But now some ideas are more interesting than other ideas. You can quote me on that.
depends.
Yeah, I mean, I want to hear ideas, not only, well, worth sharing, but I also want to hear that titillate me, that excite me, that take me to another level. I always want to, and I usually find that in TED Talks. I usually find on TEDx Talks that
Me
people
too.
are giving me something I really didn't have, and I want that.
Yeah.
So what are you going to talk about?
I'm going to talk about finding the flow state in meditation and other ways, but particularly in meditation or sort of the spiritual quest as far as in stillness, silence, and going within and finding that flow state from within.
Okay, well, it seems like a natural because in my humble understanding of flow, and it ain't easy, that meditation, yoga, it all sounds, right there at that place of flow. But why don't you tell me, and tell Ruby too, what you think flow really is?
Personally, I think flow is the connection that I feel with all. It's kind of like this interconnectedness or interbeing with the whole universe.
Is that harmony?
It could be harmony, yes. It's almost like my sense of self disappears and it feels timeless and I feel expansive or like as big as the universe. And that doesn't happen all the time for me. But when it does, that's the experience I have is just this huge, my being becomes bigger than contained within the human body. And it's a sense of freedom and just being absolutely at peace.
You have to have drugs for this? Opioids, maybe?
So I think that's what I'm also going to talk about is the dark side of flow, like chasing after things such as drugs or other means to tap into a sort of like a pseudo flow state or a non-lasting.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah.
Pseudo flow. She hasn't talked about this in public before, pseudo flow. You heard it here on Think Tech. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my personal experience of, in my last 15 years on this sort of spiritual journey I've been on is sometimes I diverted from the path of meditation and yoga and chased after flow in these other ways, what I call the dark side of flow.
You had something in your life, a personal experience that helped you or that made you go in this direction. You want to talk about it? If you don't want to talk about it, it's okay. Then we'll hear about it from Ruby.
I have nothing to hide. It's just I want to save the good bits for July 9th.
Oh.
So I don't want to give away all my
Yes,
story.
that's smart.
But I did spend like a decade off and on in India and Europe and Japan, really delving into the meditative arts or learning from different teachers and gurus. So I can definitely talk about that. And
Where in India did you study?
I first went to, I want to say Pune, but it's actually Goa. I went to Goa, which is kind of known as a party area in India.
All right. I've
But,
kept up with that.
Yeah, party, but also yoga and a lot of meditation. However, when I went to Goa, I was on my own. I had followed a spiritual teacher from Japan to Goa, India, and ended up there not really feeling like that's why I went there for that particular teacher. So I traveled up the coast of India on probably like a 24-hour bus ride to another town called Pune, which is near Mumbai.
It's right near Hilo.
Yeah, there's a Pune on the Big Island, and there's a lot of spirituality over there too. But this Pune in India is where the Osho ashram is, and Osho is one of my spiritual teachers or gurus, and he's also known as Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh. Previous to Osho.
Indian words rolling off her tongue like that. That's fabulous. I hope you do that in a speech.
Yeah. So I spent some time there studying meditation in what's called an ashram.
Qu'est-ce que c'est meditation? I mean, and studying. Do you read a book?
I mean,
maybe a video on YouTube?
I don't mean study as in like I experienced, I did it, I practiced meditation. I just immersed
Practice
myself.
it is to study it.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, just, I didn't become a nun or anything like that, but I just, a monk or anything, but I just immersed myself for months at a time in India, in these spiritual centers, meditating in different forms, whether it's moving meditations, silent sitting, meditating from dawn to midnight. It was a long journey and many months spent in India and other places.
And is that also where you learned yoga? Is that where you started to practice yoga?
No, I actually started practicing yoga in Hawaii,
Oh.
in Kapilani Park, with this yogi who's now in his probably mid to late 70s, named Bharat Das. He's American. He's an amazing yoga master. So meditation came first, and then I used yoga to kind of deepen my meditative practice, because yoga kind of dissolves the tension and stuff in the body, and then helps you to be able to sit still and like have more peace with your body and mind. It's just like for a runner it might be running, for a yogi it's yoga poses.
Physical experience.
Physical, yeah, just to
Yeah.
kind of get the body in a place of comfort so I could sit. And I think traditionally that's what the yoga poses were used for, is to relieve the body of tension, have health and well-being physically, so that a yogi could sit in meditation for longer durations of time.
Why do you do this? I mean, why don't you spend the time reading the newspapers? Because with the newspaper, you get lots of tension. It's not good for you.
Yeah, your blood pressure certainly goes up these days.
Do you think Donald Trump does yoga?
I don't
He
know.
needs to.
He's welcome to come to Hawaii and take a yoga class in
Get
the
him
park
in
with me.
speech, you fill the hall that way, eh?
I don't know. I mean, why do I meditate and do yoga? I had a lot of suffering, emotional suffering, and I didn't want to resort to drugs and alcohol and reckless behavior. I couldn't. I had a lot of wake-up calls, and that was the dark side that called me to relieve that internal, suffering. And meditation and yoga, or anything you love to do, can actually relieve that and transform the suffering to something better. And that's why I love yoga and meditation.
Did it
because
work? I mean, are you feeling better now?
Oh yeah, it works. It works, and it's a lifelong journey. I'm not there yet.
It's a process.
It's a day-to-day, moment-to-moment process.
Yeah.
It's I don't have the end result yet. It's a journey.
Yeah.
So what do you do in the gym? You wake up in the morning and Namu Amida Butsu? What happens?
I currently I'm reading a few books, contemplative books, as I right before I meditate. But first I'll make my bulletproof coffee in the morning. So I blend up some butter coffee, which is I learned from the Bulletproof exec, and you can go to that website. He's amazing. But I have butter coffee, and I sit and I meditate for anywhere between 5 to 15, 20 minutes, and sometimes longer if I have the opportunity. And right now, I'll read a short chapter that's inspirational in a book called How to Love by Anthony DeMello, I believe it's called. And then I'll just sit and contemplate that little chapter. Sometimes I won't read anything, and I'll just sit and watch my breath for a few moments, and then after
Watch your
concentrating.
breath.
Yeah, watch as in you have this capacity of awareness, we all do. Your awareness could go towards your thoughts or towards the person next to you or towards your breath. And so I watch, use awareness to watch or observe my breath.
Observe.
Observe.
Because you're actually...
I'm not
unless
watching
you're
it.
not smoking cigarettes at the time.
No, not anymore.
That
So
was part of the crisis earlier.
it was, for sure. But yeah, no, I'll observe my breath, and that kind of just calms the mind. And then once the mind is calm, I can drop into a deeper level of meditation where I experience an inner calm and peace. And it
Okay,
doesn't
well,
happen every
When
time.
you drop into the deeper level, and I know Ruby wants to know this too. You a meditative
I
person?
am a meditator, so I can
Oh.
completely
Well, sure, he
relate
does
to it.
know.
And I also
Yeah.
practice yoga, so I can
Oh,
totally
cool.
Yeah, a lot
relate.
in
So,
common. You guys want to
Yeah.
do that here, it's okay. So if you're dropping into this level of, deeper level of meditation, what are you thinking?
Sometimes there's no thoughts, and it's random. I mean, thoughts, I think, just come and go, and they can be very random. So it's not like I have a consistent thought pattern as I drop into that deeper state of meditation. It could be extremely random thoughts, and then they become
Thoughts about what?
like anything, oh, what do I have to do? What do I have to do today? Or, oh, I should have said that yesterday to that person. Or gosh, I wish this would happen. It's not.
It's not necessarily just spiritual.
No.
It's like anything.
Anything.
Yeah, I think that when you're meditating, it's amazing that every day when we're in our mind, we don't realize how much chatter is going on.
Chatter.
Chatter,
I got it.
Your mind chatter
Yeah.
going on in the background. But when you start to meditate and you just, sit still, all of a sudden you can hear what's going on. And it's amazing. It's like raka, 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 constant, barrage. And meditation helps to slow all of that down so that you can bypass all of the thoughts so that you can drop into a deeper connection.
So you want to let the chatter, you want to deal with it, but let it go.
Yeah, so you
can
just
get to
watch
the
it. You don't attach yourself.
non-chatter kind of state of mind, yeah.
Yeah, because that helps you connect a lot
Yeah.
deeper.
Well, I'm going to tell you before we take our break, I'm going to tell you my story about Marcel Proust.
Oh, the mime from France?
Yeah.
Is that?
Marcel Proust, he was
Yeah.
an author, a philosopher in France in
Oh,
the 19th century.
Oh, I'm thinking something. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was great. He was a
Yeah.
great literary figure. He wrote a book called Remembrance of Things Past. And he talked about the Petit Madeleine. The Petit Madeleine is a breakfast roll, okay? And he would have this with these specific, it had an effect on him because it reminded him of the role that he had, the same Petit Madeleine kind of pastry he had when he was a kid. And it took him back. And he went through the keyhole of his life, back into his house when he grew up with his parents and siblings. And he would actually, sort of shed his current role, shed his current life, and go back and find in great detail, all the things that were around him when he was a child, and he would be able to, in his mind, walk through this house. It was all a study, not dissimilar from what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Taking the chatter of everyday life out, neutralizing it somehow, letting it fall aside, and then going deep in his memory. And that may not be the same for everybody, but seems to me that this has got to be part of what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Going back and letting it flow.
Yeah, absolutely. But there's also, now in today's world, in the modern 21st century, they're calling it mindfulness, right? And so that's become a big buzzword in terms of people need to practice mindfulness in the workplace or in their personal lives. So it's really kind of getting back to that sense of who we really are and what's our true nature.
Yeah. I'll give you a buzzword. Break. We're going to take
Aloha! I'm Chantel Seville, host of the Savvy Chick Show on ThinkTech Hawaii. This show is for you. It's all about inspiring and empowering girls of the future to do what they love, get out there and be healthy, fit, and confident. If you're up for that, 11 a.m. every Wednesday, I'll see you there.
Aloha! My name is Carl Campagna, and I am the host of ThinkTech Hawaii's Education Movers, Shakers, and Reformers. I invite you to come watch our show on thinktechhawaii.com. You can also see our shows on YouTube as well, if you can Google search those. I appreciate the time. I hope that you do join us as we learn about education, about the educational system here in Hawaii, what the challenges are, what the benefits are, and how much our kids are learning. So thank you. I hope you join us.
Aloha! Join us at TEDxHonolulu 2016. It's at the Blaisdell, July 9th from 10 to 5. The discount code is RACHAEL_TEDxHNL. See you then.
bingo! All the chatter drops off like so much rain, like so much schmaltz. It drops off. So, okay, so we know generally, what your focus is on. And it's a personal story you're going to tell.
Yes.
How do you, I really need to know this, how do you tell a TEDx talk? How long is it? 20 minutes? What?
Gosh, it's about 10 minutes.
About? I mean, it's not exactly?
No, actually yours is a little bit longer.
Oh, how
than
much
10.
is it?
I think when we timed you was what? Well, there was a lot of different things. Maybe about 15,
Maybe.
17.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there.
Somewhere around 10 to 15
I mean, it's
minutes.
not exact. When I go to court
She's
and
in the
argue,
flow,
I
Jay,
argue
you
a
know?
case.
We'll see. We'll
Okay.
see what it turns
All right.
out.
So the other thing is, you make notes. You have a teleprompter. Do you have to look down on index cards?
You know,
do you
this is-
memorize? How do you do this?
This is my first time doing a TED Talk, and I'm not even
No
a
pressure.
yeah, TEDx Talk. I'm not even a public speaker. It doesn't come naturally to me. So I have note cards for sure. I don't intend to use them. I'm practicing with them right now. There's no teleprompter as far as I know for my presentation. I believe I'm going to be memorizing most of my talk. Yes, that's my intention.
Wow.
I might have some notes. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. There's some slides. I can use slides, visual slides as I talk, and which I intend to do.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can use all kinds of tools to help engage the audience and enhance or accompany your talk. Sounds, music, slides, visuals. So
But
it's
you don't
kind of
have to.
diverse.
It's
You
up
don't
to you.
have to.
It's not like Ignite. You know, Ignite. Ignite. You have to use. You have to go very fast on the slides. You can't spend more than like, I don't know, 60 seconds on a slide. You have an exact number of minutes, very
It's not like
structured.
the Pecha Kucha kind of format,
Yeah, it's the
right?
same thing.
Oh, okay.
It's not exactly the same thing,
Yeah.
but just like that. So, okay, so you have to be in a zone to speak. I mean, I've been studying this. You have to put your mind in the right place. And my own experience is that, for me anyway, it's better if I rehearse is the wrong word, but if I give my talk, my speech to someone else, and I get feedback on it,
Yes.
and then I sort of make tracks in my mind so I can follow. But some people, they don't need to do that. They can connect up the thoughts right there, extemporaneously.
Yeah, that's a real talent.
It's amazing how
Yeah.
they do
Yeah.
that. They always have the right words, and they're always, they're picking exactly the right words to articulate what I say. I don't know how they do. Maybe it's pills.
They're in the flow.
They're in the
It
flow.
must be the flow. Well, the flow has a lot to do with speaking, I guess, doesn't it?
Yeah, I imagine it does. I mean, when I teach yoga, I've been teaching for about 3 years now and practicing for about 10. When I first started teaching yoga, I was so nervous in front of my even small classes, very nervous. And now I actually can just drop into the flow state while I'm teaching. And it's not even an intentional thing. It's just I get into the flow of it and I have no nervousness and I just totally am enjoying sharing yoga and meditation. So I'm definitely not used to public speaking, but now I'm used to teaching yoga, so that's where I experience kind of just being totally fluid in my, I guess,
And you
zone.
you shed the tension of being up there in public. 'Cause
Yeah.
That's pretty tense. I remember a short story. I remember I was going to be on television, national television one time, and I called a friend of mine who was an author, a woman who had a lot of experience dealing with public, and I said, what's your advice? Because I'm nervous about this. And she said, there's only one thing. Don't be nervous.
Easier said than done, right?
She said, no, I'm serious. That's it. You just focus on that. And maybe it's similar to what you're talking about. You shed all this nervousness. You command yourself not to be nervous because that's the only thing you're concentrating on. And then the other you comes out. The you that wants to communicate, the you that is at peace with this. And so you become at one in harmony with the situation. And your mind, may I say, flows.
Yes.
So you going to write notes? I mean, are you going to prepare? You going to type it out on a word processor? Or what?
I've been writing notes and have sticky notes on my wall, and I've been practicing on friends and in front of my own camera and just all sorts of practice techniques.
Well, you're practicing today, I suppose, in kind of a way.
Kind
That's what
of.
you look like.
Yeah.
So, it strikes me that when you can verify this, Ruby, that once you do this, once you get up and do a TED Talks, which is a statement of excellence, it's easier after. You're sort of breaking through something. And then the next time is it's more comfortable for you. You're more familiar with the experience.
Yeah, and I think
Could
the
be.
TED experience is actually, there's a structure to it. You can't, you have to prepare, you have to take time. And, typically we select the speakers, I think at least, 9 months out, because we want them to have enough time to actually start crafting. When they come in audition, they're coming in with an initial idea, but then they have to really develop that idea into their actual talk. So they get speakers training that comes along with that. So that way they're able to work with somebody who's professional who can give them some tips about, are they on track? Are they getting off track too much? Or there's too many ideas and, maybe hone in on something specific. So the talk actually is going to go through several iterations and will evolve eventually.
You mean before you present it or after you present it?
No. Before you present it, maybe you started out with an initial idea, but then you're going to start evolving it to the actual talk. It may not be exactly what you had presented, based on. And Salina, you can probably help me out with that. I think that's part of the process and the flow of the whole TED experience is that evolution of your idea and really honing it down, so that you can actually get up there and say.
I've been thinking about it for months and practicing and writing notes and meeting my speaker coach and practicing on the TEDxHonolulu volunteer
Boy, this is
team.
serious.
Oh, it's a serious business.
Wow.
Yeah.
Expectations are high.
Honestly, I feel a lot of pressure, and I think it's healthy pressure, because I value TED and TEDx talks. They've nourished me and given me a lot of insight, education, and inspiration in my life. So I'm really honored, and I do want to be well prepared, and I think that goes for, most of the speakers in TEDxHonolulu this year and TED across the board from what I've seen.
Yeah. What about body language? What about, the way you conduct yourself? It seems to me that a lot of public speaking is, communicating with your body.
Yeah.
Your hands, your face, the way your expressions on your face.
Yeah.
Are you thinking about that? Are you focusing on that at all?
That's true. I've watched some videos and educated myself a little bit on that. So yes, it is good to use hand gestures and using your voice and tonality and pace and all kinds of things. There's techniques. I just feel like if I can speak from my heart and be authentically me, that stuff will come naturally, because I don't feel like you're meant to be an actor once you get on a TED or TEDx stage. You're meant to be yourself. There have been things that friends and other coaches have told me about when I'm presenting, like not to sway side to side and be shifty on my feet and just have a stable stance. Things like that I'll definitely take and embody it, because I think it helps the audience to focus on what your essence is and doesn't convey a nervousness. So there's things that I have learned along the way, but essentially I just want to speak from my heart and be authentically me. And yes, but this kind of thing helps the hand movements and expressiveness
I'm
with the
from
body.
New York, so I need to talk with my, it's very ethnic kind of thing. I need to talk with my hands. I don't think I could talk without my hands,
Yeah.
And so I'm sure you'll find your way, your key, so to speak. But what is really interesting is giving, one of the elements of Think Tech too, is giving people stuff they don't have yet. Filling a kind of a void as you perceive it in them, telling them something they don't know, and delivering a deliverable to them.
Yeah.
Is that part of what you're doing?
Yes, ideas worth sharing or spreading. Which one is it?
Yeah, ideas worth spreading.
Spreading. I feel like if it's almost like there's there, like you said, there might be a void or a need for something, and TED or TEDx speakers, we can fill that void or need. And it's really what maybe was our void or need in life, and what we've learned or experienced or are in the process of learning that we can share with others and spread that idea. And I think with meditation, yoga, and any practice of going within, silence and stillness, it's so needed in our modern day and age and cultures across the world.
You mean you can't get alone on social media?
Social media and the addiction of social media.
I think, there's like a high addiction to distractions and sort of like being busy and just, like having thoughts and being intellectual is sort of like, I don't know, it's the thing to do right now, but
well, let me tell you
being
this.
silent and
Tell
still
quickly,
is
because
novel.
we're about
When
out of
when I
time.
go to the yoga studio, people are on their phones right before the teacher is about to teach. So that's how addicted people are to social media. They can't even let it go when they're about to do their yoga.
And so this is just about the opposite of all of that.
I don't think it's the opposite, because it's not like I'm saying don't live in the modern world and go out and just live in nature. It's just
Moderation,
it's also balancing that, and just having quietude so you can actually bring out the creativity and the inspiration and the joy from within versus continuously maybe comparing yourself to others or, feeling lack because you don't have something that you see others have or feeling like you're not productive or good enough because you see so many people, announcing their amazing lives where really, it might not be the truth in total that you see, and it creates a lot of tension. So I think,
I want to come and see you.
yeah, come.
Yeah, I want to see all this, played out.
Yeah.
So Ruby, we're about done. You're my co-host. You have to summarize and close.
Okay.
And I guess the first question I would ask you in doing that is, how much of what Salina has said do you agree with?
Now you're putting me on the spot, Jay. Absolutely 150% of it.
Thought so.
Yes, she's
Okay,
got it
close.
down. All right, so everyone, please come out to our TEDxHonolulu event. You're going to have a fabulous experience. You're going to have a chance to actually experience people in our local community who have wonderful ideas that are worth spreading. And it's on July 9th. You can buy your tickets at TEDxHonolulu.org. And if you put in the discount code ThinkTechHawaii, you will also get a $15 discount off of your ticket. And the event is at the Blaisdell Concert Hall from 10 to 6. It's an all-day event. And we feed you excellent organic local food. And you get to have a lot of fun being with other TED lovers. And also get to hear some amazing speakers from our local community.
It's all about karma.
Yeah, mindfulness.
Karma, Dharma, the middle way.
Thank you so much, Salina, Ruby.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Salina.